Yes, April 14th is National Gardening Day, which resides in the entire month of National Garden Month. It's a day to celebrate the joy of gardening and encourages people to get their hands dirty, whether they are experienced gardeners or just starting out. Before we dig in, if it's your first time here or you are returning, please consider to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you know every time we upload. Thanks in advance, friends. National Gardening Day and month is a day to start a new garden. Whether it's a small patch of vegetables, a window box of herbs, or a collection of houseplants, it's a great time to plant. Celebrate the benefits of gardening. It's a reminder that gardening is a relaxing and therapeutic hobby that connects you with nature and provides fresh, healthy produce. Connect with others. You can find a community garden, join a garden club, or organize a seed swap to share your love of gardening with others. Learn more, use the opportunity to find resources like gardening books or guides from organizations like Cool Springs Press or your local extension service. National Garden Month is the perfect chance to get out and start preparing the garden, tilling soil or planting seeds for everything that will be growing this year. The history of National Garden Month. Gardens have always played an important role in the history of human culture, from sources of food and sustenance to locations for leisure and entertainment. They have even been used to produce natural medicinals used in the home and by holistic medical practitioners. The word garden traces its roots to Middle English, French, and German languages. In the United Kingdom, this word specifically describes a small enclosed piece of land that is placed next to a building which might only contain grass. However, in the United States, the term garden has more to do with a place where someone would plant and grow things such as flowers, fruits, or vegetables. Multiple types of garden exist in the world, all of which are dependent on the primary purpose and the list of things that are contained in the garden. For instance, in arid regions, some people may choose to have cactus gardens. In other places, gardeners may aim for a particular style of aesthetic, such as a bonsai garden or a Dutch garden rife, with tulips with an eye to efficiency and a density of foliage. Gardens have also been used to create new habitats and resting places for bees, butterflies, seasonal birds, and other delightful creatures of nature, making them both beautiful and able to aid these creatures whose natural habitats may be diminishing in some places in the wild. While most home gardens tend to be incredibly informal and relaxed, there are also far more formal gardens that adhere tightly to a given style. French formal and Italian Renaissance gardens adhere to a particular style, and knot gardens are extremely formal with specific guidelines that govern their designs. National Garden Month is a great time to research gardens and learn more about them. When it comes to gardening tips and tricks, the doyen of gardening and all things home, Martha Stewart has just released the Martha Stewart's Gardening Handbook, the essential guide to designing, planting, and growing, her first gardening book in over 30 years. Ever since I was a young girl, I've loved gardening. From tilling the soil the old-fashioned way, by hand, or with a rototiller, to designing exactly how the garden will look, to planting and harvesting it. I immensely enjoy the produce nature provides. It enlivens and beautifies each and every day. If you are a green thumb or a novice, this guide contains everything you need to make and grow a beautiful, thriving garden, Martha states in the caption of her Instagram post, sharing the news. The Barefoot Contessa, Ina Garten, is a true Renaissance woman, excelling at gardening, and the fruits of her green-thumbed labor are amply documented on her Instagram. Ina is, first and foremost, a chef, and an excellent one at that. At her East Hampton house, she writes and tests her recipes, all of which rely on really great or the best of ingredients, including herbs. Ina has created one of the most iconic and wonderful of kitchen and herb gardens, simply filled with the chef's most used herbs, from chives to rosemary. Also in her kitchen garden are different lettuces and courgettes. Why not start with your own plot of simple herbs, which, with some attention and care, will be ready to garnish your next Ina Garten dish? How easy is that? Ever since tastemaker and lifestyle blogger Paula Sutton moved to Hill House, a picturesque 19th century Georgian home in the countryside of Norfolk, England, the born and bred Londoner dreamed of having a small garden retreat where she could grow fruits and vegetables, as well as set up a private office. Gardening is something that she has discovered later in life, but has, she explains, become a crucial part of living in a more meaningful way. Paula, author of Hill House Living, The Art of Creating a Joyful Life, which is a mix of both decorating and life lessons from the charming queen of cottagecore, displays her gardening prowess on all her social media platforms. Joanna Gaines' gardens are a great source of inspiration too. Joanna is one of the founders of the Magnolia Empire, a lifestyle brand that includes a home furnishings company, a TV network, a magazine, and a real estate company. She co-founded Magnolia with her husband, Chip Gaines. The couple gained national recognition for their home renovation show, Fixer Upper. I think I'm influenced in this way because the garden is a place of evolution. It is always changing, always the perfect metaphor for life unfolding, especially when I'm willing to encourage variation in what I'm planting season over season, Gaines says. Gwyneth Paltrow is known for her holistic approach to life, and as such, fresh and healthy food plays a huge role in her lifestyle. As such, the actor and Goop founder often shares cooking videos to her Instagram page. However, she recently showed off not only what she was preparing, but where she sourced the ingredients from. Hint, they originate from her backyard. In a clip, we see the Iron Man and the talented Mr. Ripley star foraging for vegetables in her home's outdoor garden, while herbs and root vegetables make an appearance, as do vibrant orange flowers. The real star is a bunch of green curly kale that looks as fresh as it comes, confirmed by the finished result of the breakfast bowl. Oprah says that being on Maui and creating a farm feels like coming home. I was raised on a tiny farm in Kosciuszko, Mississippi by my grandmother, and she grew everything. Never went to town for food. If you needed medical remedies, you'd go out and gather some roots and pine cones. I remember her making me pine cone tea when I had a cold. Here on Maui, our soil is now so good and so rich that we're already producing 145 pounds of food each week, and everything grows 5 times as big as you'd expect. We can grow tomatoes all year long, and they taste like real tomatoes. We're still figuring out the best way to make use of our bounty, but for now I walk down the road with bags of lettuce going, "Hi, would you like some lettuce? I grew it. I feel like I can't waste it." Pamela Anderson found starting a garden as a cathartic experience and got her love of gardening from her grandpa. Pamela's TV show, Garden of Eden, follows the iconic screen star as she leaves her Hollywood life behind, returns to her roots on the coast of Vancouver Island, and embarks on a massive restoration of her grandmother's legacy property. When I started building my garden, it was really like a metaphor of putting my life back together. I began planting seeds, and the smallest things became really profound. She released a cookbook in 2024, I Love You, of vegetable-based recipes. And with such an overflowing fruit and vegetable garden, all its produce are used for her recipes. Meghan Markle's latest television venture, her Netflix series With Love Meghan, is teeming with promising gardening inspiration. With its broader focus on Markle's cooking, entertaining, and lifestyle, the show also features one of her go-to hobbies, gardening, a hobby that she has passed on to her children, who she says have their own little gardening tools and who love to garden with her as well. National Garden Month itself is a fairly recent observance. It started with National Garden Week when, in 1986, U.S. President Ronald Reagan signed a declaration to make the observance official the following year in 1987. Realizing that only 7 days simply could never be long enough, National Garden Month was born in 2003, and people have been celebrating this important occasion during each springtime ever since. Now it's time to get started with the celebrations for National Garden Month this year. Ladies, what is your favorite plant or flower? What will you plant during National Garden Month? Leave a comment below. Before you go, hit the like, share, and subscribe button, as well as the bell notification to know when more videos bloom on the channel. Happy spring, and remember to keep on flourishing. Toodles!